Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing great today, and this video finds you in high spirits. Appreciate the one and two be watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. Again, I won't be showing my face because I got this cold sore on my lips, which I'm pretty sure all the lovely ladies will be upset because they won't be able to see my beautiful face, and all the guys will be upset as well because they won't have a face that you would want to punch. But hey, that's life. And so let's move on to today's view. It's kind of like a retro review. And so since before there was Fast and the Furious, you had Smokey and the Bandit. Now, Smokey the Bandit was something that was I loved as a child. I love that black Trans Am, that Burt Reynolds drove around, and once I got a black Trans Am as a Hot Wheel as a child, I used to pretend to race my Hot Wheels around, and of course the black Trans Am would always win those races. However, this isn't going to affect what I say about this movie whatsoever. I'm not going to let that childhood bias interfere. It's my job to be honest as possible when I talk about these shows, so that's what I'm going to do. Well, I can't really say Trans Am, but Smokey the Bandit stars Burt Reynolds, and it has a basic plot about a guy who is hired to he's hired, but he's also got like a bet going on, and he carry can't carry beer from Texas to Atlanta in a certain time period. And of course, he's bootlegging it, so he's illegal. And during this time period, you really had a lot of these kind of shows where you had people kind of sticking it to law enforcement, or running away from the cops, kind of bending the rules. You have this movie, Smokey and Bandit. Another one that comes in my mind is Convoy, which stars Chris Christopherson. As a child, Convoy was a great show. I loved it as well. Always wanted to be a semi-truck driver when I was a kid. But anyways, that's here and there. We're going to talk about Smokey and the Bandit. And Smokey and Bandit, it's just this fun little show. And it's basically a comedy. You got your little action, though, about this guy named, his call name is Bandit, running away from the cops and doing all kinds of hijinks and stuff to get away from them. He goes onto the back roads to get away from them. The cinematography, the film is great in this. Got a lot of great action pieces in this as they run away. Some of it's kind of unbelievable. He jumps over a broken bridge that's been torn down. Of course, he clears it, and then the cops, course, when they try to jump it, they just fall straight down. It kind of reminds me of that scene in Speed, when that bus is trying to jump over that 30-foot gap in the bridge, which is kind of impossible. It's kind of how this is, because there's no way that the Trans Am will be able to jump this bridge, because there's no because the bridge is just flat, so you just would go flat, but somehow he's able to get an arc over and jump the bridge. So there is some elements of this movie where you're like, that's impossible, defines the law of nature type of thing. And it's just one example, but it's actually kind of few in between. It is somewhat plausible as he's escaping the cops, but you do have to kind of stretch your imagination and kind of just go with the flow, and not really think about, is that really possible? There are areas in this show like this. The cop that's chasing him is Jackie Gleason. He does a wonderful job of playing this cop that's chasing him, and it's kind of, at first, for a ridiculous reason. It's because during his trip to Atlanta, Burt Reynolds picks up Sally Field, who's run away from her marriage, and she happens to be going to be married to our sheriff. I think his name was Butch Justice. Oh, it's something like that. I think his last name, Buford Justice. I think that's his name. Yep, Buford Justice. Well, she's running away from his son, so the sheriff takes offense to that. So he's off to chase her down to make sure she marries his son, and that's basically how he starts off chasing Burt Reynolds in this movie. So there are some, you can say, cheesy parts in this movie. The most ridiculous part, you can kind of tell the time period of when this show was filmed was when he's going down the interstate. and the truck drivers, they help him escape from the cop, and then the camera goes to each truck driver, and they're all like waving and stuff, and cheering. And it's just as he's going by them, it's kind of like weird. Now that I watch it as a grown up, it's kind of, that part's kind of weird and kind of, like I said, cheesy and ridiculous. It's unintended to be funny while seeing it. I don't think they meant for that to be a part where you laugh at. But just seeing them react that way does make it funny. Also, you do have some black characters. This takes place in the South that helps the bandit escape from law enforcement. And I think it's kind of shows, I think it's meant to show that people kind of who, try to get my words correct here, people who kind of don't really like the law enforcement, how they kind of band together to help each other out during these times. And so there's a couple instances when these black characters help the bandit escape. There is one black sheriff, and he seems to be like a decent sheriff, he's nothing like the Jackie Gleason character, who could come off, I don't know if his character is racist or not, but he could come off somewhat that way, but I don't think he's really, he's kind of borderline racist, I would say, his character. I wouldn't really say he's racist per se, but you just have to watch it and judge. He's kind of on the borderline. You can see it both ways, I guess what I'm saying. You can say that he is racist, but you also, if you look at it another way, it's not really. But he is somebody who is, talking about the Jackson Gleason character, who kind of thinks because he's the law that he can do whatever he wants type of person. But going back to the black sheriff, he seems like he's very down the line. He'd be the guy that you would want to be your sheriff, for sure. So I'm going to end this video, this review right here. We're that much. I like to say it is a fun show, especially if you're a car guy and you like those car chases and stuff. This is definitely the movie for you. You have your iconic Burt Reynolds laugh. You got excellent banter between him and Jerry Reed in this, who plays the truck driver. You got your great comic features in this one. Great chemistry between Burt Reynolds and Sally Field. Sally Field does her part really well as the runaway bride, and she's kind of an annoying girl character there at the beginning, but you kind of grow to like her by the end of the movie. So if you're still here, I appreciate it. And on this channel, we basically give 3 grades. We give highly recommend, which means it's a fantastic, great movie. Recommend, your average movie. Recommend with caution is it's a bad movie, or it's made for like a niche audience. And it's it's a movie that's made just for that niche audience, or for people. If you're somebody who really likes bad movies, you enjoy this. Even though I really love Smokey and Bandit, if it's on TV, I watch it. I think it's a great movie, but I'm going to give this just a solid recommend. Not highly recommend, it's your recommend average movie. It's aged really well, I think. Like I said, there's some cheesy parts like the truck driver scene. There's other scenes there and there that kind of tell its age, but I do think it aged really well. And I'm just going to give this a recommend. If you have time, tune in to Netflix. It's on Netflix right now. You can watch it. It's only an hour and a half, and you'll have a good time watching Smokey and the Bandit, and you'll see why people really loved Burt Reynolds in the 70s and early 80s, and actually throughout his career. He had a great movie career, and you can see why by watching this. You also will love Jerry Reed and Jackie Gleason. All right, I hope everybody have a great day, and hopefully pretty soon I'll get rid of this coleslaw so you guys can see my beautiful face once again. Adios. Bye-bye.